Afternoon, folks. This is a quick video on doing shaping points. When you've done your shaping points, a lot of people when they actually ride the route or drive the route, they have to inevitably they're going to have to miss a bit of the route out. And the problem is, there's a lot of people are saying that it's trying to take them back to the shaping points that they've missed out on the route. So, for instance, if we're starting here and I'm ending here. But if I drive this road here from the start and get to this road here, and then we're going to carry on the route, we've basically missed all this bottom half of the route out. Now people are saying it's wanting to try and take you back to the shaping points of that one, and so on. I'll show you how to delete shaping points on the sat-nav as you're riding along. My experience is if you use this particular route on the sat-nav, you don't need to delete. As soon as you end up on the highlighted route again, no matter where you end up on the highlighted route, it picks you up and carries on as normal. It doesn't want to take you back. But if it does want to take you back, I'll show you how to delete them. It's obviously been a problem on Basecamp, because Basecamp now, when you transfer a route over on the newer sat-navs that use the shaping points and trip planner software on the sat-nav, it transfers two routes over. One of them is the route that you've designed, so i.e. this one's called shaping, just for the video. It's just a quick loop, but we're going to send this shaping to the sat-nav, and then when it comes on the sat-nav there's going to be two routes on there. One's going to be called shaping, and the other one's going to be called shaping 1. If I just go into this quick and just show you what I've alerted. So you've got to alert your start point. I've alerted a lunch break, and I've alerted my end point. The start and the end you can't get rid of anyway, but I've changed this to an alerting shaping point for the lunch. All the rest of them are still non-alerting. Okay, so when I transfer that over to the sat-nav, so I'll do that now. So we right click on the collection that it is. This is, I've just labelled it H2 and it's called shaping. And we're going to send it to the sat-nav. You'll know when it's gone because it puts a green tick up there. So now I'm going to unplug the sat-nav from the computer and load the sat-nav up. And I'll show you what I mean. On the newer softwares, if you go down to the bottom right hand corner of your screen on your sat-nav, you can click it and it will come up skip waypoint. It's not just waypoints that you can skip shaping points as well. And I'll show you how. So it's come up with new routes found. Click. Right, bearing in mind I've only transferred the shaping, which is the one here. I've just transferred shaping, but it's also dropped shaping 1 on. Now make sure you select them all so it loads both the routes onto your sat-nav. Once it's loaded them on, they've gone now straight away. You go to apps and you go to trip planner and you've got two routes. That's the one that you loaded, that's the one that Basecamp's dropped on as well. If I click the top one, which is the one we loaded, you can see we've got the start point, the lunch point and the end point. They're the only three we've got. If I click on the map, you'll see that there's no shaping points been dropped in between, even though we've got them on the sat-nav. Even though we've got them and they're on the sat-nav, they're not being shown. So if you wanted to skip a waypoint from there, what you would skip is one of them three. I've gone too far. You would only be able to skip one of them three. You'd be able to skip your start point, your lunch point or your end point, because they're the only three that have been downloaded onto the sat-nav with your trip. If you click shaping 1, which is Garmin's trip, exactly the same, but it's you'll see you've got all your shaping points in there as well. They're still non-alerting. They still won't ping up on your they'll show on your sat-nav screen, but they won't audibly alert you, so you won't hear them. But you've got all your shaping points. You've still got your lunch, and then you've got all the shaping points after that to your end. If you click on map, you'll see that you've got your dots on the screen now as well. So that's how it'll look when you're running on the sat-nav. It'll come up as a dot rather than a flag. And them dots now mean that you can actually skip them shaping points one by one. So if you've had to go off track, if we click go and I start at the start and we start, you will see that it's now ready to send me down the route. But you've got all the dots here and there, look, and they're everywhere. But now you can actually skip one by one. So if I click down the bottom there, then skip, that skips my first point. It then takes me to my second shaping point, which is there. Okay, if you want to skip that shaping point as well, because you've missed it, because you've basically gone up this road here and you're coming out here. So we want to skip all these round here to get back on the route if it doesn't do it automatically. You right click it, you click again, and then you skip that again. And you keep skipping until you get to the one it's wanting to send me back the other way because I keep moving the sat nav. But basically, if you were running, you can see what it's doing. It's starting to delete the route, the bit of the route. It's only sending me back down here to come back again because I keep moving the sat nav and it doesn't know which way I'm turning. But if I delete another one, skip, and have a look at it again, you can see that that piece has gone now. And then same again, skip, and then you'll see that now we are at the route where we want to be. So if it doesn't do it automatically, and you've gone down a road that you're not meant to, and you've got back onto your main road but it's still wanting to take you down the back, all you have to do is click on your three bars in the corner and keep clicking your skip until it catches back up with you, if you like, so it's back to where you are now. And that way it gets rid of the shaping points that have gone before. I hope that makes sense. As I say, when I drove this route, I actually just drove down here anyway, even though it wasn't telling me to, because it was wanting to send me round to here. When I got to this point here, it actually picked me up and it says, yeah, right, carry on as normal. And it did the same when I got down here, because what I did was I diverted it to go up this road here, but I actually went up that road to see if it had, see if I could trick it. And it actually missed that shaping point and that shaping point. And as soon as I joined the road at the top here, it basically just let me carry on this route. Sometimes, depending on, I suppose, what Zumo you've got, and how many shaping points you've actually missed, I think is probably a lot to do with it. But if it doesn't, as I say, you can just keep deleting them by clicking and skip, and then that will take you to that next point. And if you see that next point there, if I click and skip, that then gets rid of that point, and it's going to go, it's as though it's not there, and it's just wanting to take you to the next point, you see. So that's the way that you do it. So that is in your apps and your trip planner, and you'll have 2 trips. You can actually label these anyway. Sorry, I'll click on it. Get rid of that. If I click on it, you can actually rename the trip anyway. So you can get rid of that shaping one and just call it shaping, and then get rid of your original shaping trip. I just tend to leave them as shaping 1, Wednesday 1, Thursday 1, Friday 1, whatever. And I'll know that I've got 2 on there, so I'll always have Wednesday and I'll always have Wednesday 1. And I usually run with the Wednesday 1 because that's the one that brings up all your shaping points. If you click the normal one, you've only got your 3 pieces. If you click the 1, you've got all your in-betweens that you can then delete, rather than having to just be able to delete start, lunch, end. Because if you delete your lunch, it's basically you've basically got a trip then from your start to your end with nothing in between. So you are better off doing that one there, and then you can delete all these as needs be, and you do it on your sat nav as well as you're running. It's just a lot easier to click your bottom right skip until it catches back up with you, rather than having to stop, cancel the route, start the route, and then start deleting these off of here before you've actually clicked. Because a lot of people, what they do is they think, right, well, I've been past that one, I'll get rid of that. I've been past that one, I'll get rid of that. And that's a ball ache, because you're basically doing exactly the same as that as you would be if you did it on here by doing that and skip, that and skip. It's exactly the same, it's just quicker when you're on the road. But as I say, this is only if it doesn't do it automatically. I hope I've cleared that up. I'm going to put this on the Tiger forum, because it was a chap on there that asked me. He says he was going around in circles, basically. He was chasing his tail because it was wanting to take him back to all the shaping points. And obviously it's going to be a bit more, you're going to be clicking a few more times depending on how many shaping points you've got. But usually one at the start of a road and one at the end of a road is sufficient for your sat nav to run you down it, which is what I've done there. Look, I've got one there and I've got one down the bottom here, just to say that I definitely want to stay on that road to the end of it, and I don't want to come, even though there isn't anywhere else. Right, that's cleared that up hopefully. Any questions, and just give us a shout out. Cheers.